On January 19th, School District 57 will receive a report from their Sustainability Committee. The report could spell major changes for local schools.
The school board has been suffering with a massive financial shortfall. Exactly how that shortfall is to be combated has been the subject of much discussion.
Board Chair Lyn Hall said that the report will likely include recommendations for school closures. He said that a 60-day follow-up consultation will begin on January 26th. We hope to bring you news of the sustainability report next week. Here's a big news item we found in the most unlikely place.
Where?
The local paper.
Former Valemount Mill workers have been awarded severance by a Labour Board arbitrator. The dispute between the United Steelworkers Union, Local 1417, and Carrier Lumber of Prince George was settled last week. Former mill workers are entitled to 10 days' pay for each year they worked at the mill.
Shirley Gonyu, former plant chair, said that she was happy with the decision, but would rather have a working mill. Gonyu said that more and more young families are leaving Valemount due to a lack of job opportunities.
Gonyu said that while Carrier has the right to appeal the decision, she is fairly confident that the appeal would be found in the union's favor.
We spoke to Warren Oja, Financial Secretary for the United Steelworkers Union, Local 1417 in Kamloops, earlier today.
I'm hoping the plan is to pay everybody without a lot of huffing and puffing, but you never know. It could be a fair amount of money for anybody that was around for a period of time. So cumulatively, we figure it'll be between $5 and $6 million total. It was kind of an expensive little proposition for us, and like, you know, the people in Valemount, they've been members of the steelworkers for a long time, but, you know, they weren't at the time we did the arbitration. We had to, you know, take the company on because we thought it was the right thing to do, and luckily we did.
We also managed to track down the president of Carrier Lumber, Bill Cordoban.
The arbitrator came with his decision, and at this point we're reviewing it, and I have no comment at this point. Until I digest a little bit more, I'm not really able to, I'm not prepared to comment at this point. Certainly probably will later on, but still a little bit early.
Eugene Jamin was an employee of the mill for more than 30 years. We spoke to him about what this might mean for Valemount and what he plans to do with the settlement money if it becomes a reality.
It is good news, but it's still with the realization that there may be an appeal and he may win the appeal. So there are dreams and hopes that come up with it, but it's not necessarily that this is a done deal.
Without the mill, what's your sense of how the town is doing?
Oh, we're not doing very well at all. With the mill closure, people have left. Because people have left, the attendance of the school is down. The next major employer is a school, and now the school is being asked, well, maybe we need to close down the school as well. It really is bad news for our town. It has affected us incredibly with the shutdown of the mill.
But what do you think the severance would do for the community or for the town?
Oh, it might, for those people that are close to retirement, it could mean that they could stick around and still live within this town. For those who are young, well, there wouldn't be much severance pay anyways. It would not mean people coming back to Valemount in any way. What we really need is employment. The cash handout is nice, but as far as the prosperity of this town, it doesn't make that much difference.
Particularly let down by Carrier, or do you understand this to be the work of larger forces, the closure of the mill?
I see this more the larger forces in action. To me, the biggest thing was, there's a specific word they use for the logs staying within a community. When that was removed, it meant that small businesses would have a real struggle to stay alive. And especially when the big mills don't have to pay for the transportation of logs to bigger centers, that really, really hits us badly. I can't see where we would at least have a fighting chance if if big companies had to pay for transportation of the logs to their bigger centers in the cities. And I think that somehow big business can do a better job at processing lumber and keeping our markets going is a fallacy. I think when you've got a crew that is intent in keeping its mill going, will have a vested interest in keeping it going, there's all kinds of things that can be done. And it was shown in the last month before we were shut down. We were breaking records right and left with someone who was not pushing harder, but watching where the bottlenecks are and solving the bottlenecks as they appeared. And we made great strides in that month, but the month before you're going to shut down is a lousy time to make adjustments. You know you're in trouble already, and you need more time than that to be able to straighten out and to make a viable operation.
How do you feel the union performed on this?
To Warren OJ, many kudos. I really like his approach, his level-headedness, and there's a task to be done, let's do it. I'm not in favor of a lot of adjectives being thrown in and people's names being called in question. We each have our job to do, and sometimes people are reluctant to do that job, but we don't have we aren't privy to why the decisions are made the way they are. And so to me there has to be room for benefit of doubt. With my severance, it gives the opportunity to look at, well, where can I go from here? And for me it would be the possibility of going back studying. I'd love to get a degree in theology. It may mean moving out of the community for a few years, but it gives possibilities of dreaming of what happens next, and I appreciate that. I've never been in a situation before where I've got the option of what do you want to do, instead of what jobs are available, and I need to feed my family, therefore this job is available.